Streaming is good. Yeah, this connection is
Agora vai outro hino, outra vez, 5 no ar. Atenção, vou tocar novamente o hino. Atenção a certo. Epá, esse está aqui à frente, meu. Dá lá este.
Anyway, nothing enough, but my friend is monitoring it from the assembly.
okay.
She's getting the feed. I told her to engage it, but then when I had to engage it at the last minute, I just hit it.
Mostra 3, abre 4, 4. Vamos os outros casos. Filho 3. 3. Caso 4. Ok. Vamos sair para 2, 2 no ar. Agora estamos a fechar. Só a 6. 6 no ar. Ok, só a 4, 4 no ar. Pode ir abrindo. Vamos sair, é para 7, estava no par. 5 para 7, 7, firme no ar. Bom, no ar. 3 ao ocidente, 2 no ar. 3, no ar. Há mais vezes, só há 5 reta e estás no ar.
Esta orquestra está intrinsecamente ligada ao combate do caminho de frente. Acredito que o Assembleia da União Parlamentar, na linda e acolhedora capital da República de Angola, é, pois, imbuída de grande satisfação, em nome do povo angolano, em nome dos 220 deputados da Assembleia Nacional de Angola, que tenho a honra e o privilégio de receber de braços abertos a reunião que junta parlamentares de todos os cantos do planeta. Recebam um abraço de África.
That audio in the van is coming.
Not spare defenseless people. To assure peace, the feeling of justice and the need of the institution's role should be the basis to guide us. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies, all MPs of all continents, parliamentary action for justice and
exactly 45th Assembly, and in a way, Rwanda typifies what we see here. Rose of rise again, and these two countries, Angola and Rwanda, are like, to me, the legendary that are riven by conflict. Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, and now Niger and Gabon. What's happening there? Why is there instability in the people of those countries? As I had the opportunity to say during one of my legs of that visit, we must learn to demystify power. We must learn that leaders are there and are expected to serve the people, not to serve themselves. We need, I think, has a woman speaker. Zimbabwe has a president of Senate, woman. Zambia, South Africa, Tanzania, Malawi, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Uganda, Madagascar, Rwanda. All of these women speakers. And so this led me, the case of women is at the top. And this makes sense. This makes sense in terms of legitimacy. It makes sense in
the Secretary General of the representation on the African continent and critical role. Honorable speakers, distinguished representatives
in Africa, with the continent's share of
Portuguese-speaking country. And for this cause, against winds and storms, Luanda. Thank you very much. And for this cause, we are here to all them Angolans, the way they dedicated and how fundamental is peace for the economic and social growth that all of us desire for our countries. Angolans, they did not read from books. They did not see on the TV. They felt it. They felt what is it like to live in a war, because they've lived for more than years in conflict and victims of many generations. They lived for years, and the growth did not happen as they desired, and the progress in education and health was very slow. But with peace, it's possible to have hope of all the spheres of the governance. And so it's possible to be here in Angola and speak of peace. Covering all the news all over in the news in a Thanksgiving way with emotion to these very fabulous and wonderful young people from the orchestra that they've been playing for the first time a hymn of peace, of tolerance, an hymn that once again will be in the history, Speaker Carolina Sequeira, because it was played and by Angolans and it was done here in Luanda.
Many extreme weather events around the world impacting our daily life and posing important questions about what the future will look like. And we have seen some great examples of what is possible to do. It's now time to look at the bigger picture and step out our action to implement the Paris Agreement. We parliamentarians must hold our governments to account for the commitment made to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. We must think not only of new approach to reducing emissions, but also innovative mitigation and adaptation measures. And our
initiative of, better say, the parliamentarians. Ladies and gentlemen, according to Pepe Tella, we want to transform and change the world, and we are unable to change ourselves. IPU sought to go against this speech, changing to be closer to the parliament, to be aware with the society dynamic, the wish of the people, and through that way to carry a culture of change to each of all the parliamentarians would happen.
Regain the trust of the people we serve. Women of law. And as we celebrate 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, protecting our communities across our regions and around the world. Staying strong on multilateralism, reinforcing the importance of treaties and keeping our words for a more secure and peaceful world, benefiting with the benefits to the global community, shall be the foundation of our actions. Dear colleagues, when things is in Parliament is perhaps more essential here in this continent than in other places. Around the world, we are seeing some progress. The IPU
of those countries as current chair not good for global security. We are also concerned about the economic crisis situation, which is aggravated by the negative effects of COVID-19, which demands our contribution of parliamentarians to the UN Conference on Climate Change, COP28, which will take place later this year. The main themes of this conference, such as democracy, human rights, minors trafficking, and the role of parliament in reducing damages, are of great importance in supporting the growth of developing countries. We therefore need to find consensus with regard to the need of preserving peace and international security, sustainable development and promotion of human rights. Therefore, we welcome the special engagement of women and young people through holding parallel fora dedicated to this social segment. It is also worth mentioning the cycle of parallel meetings that will be held on gender equality and the necessary reform in the United Nations Security Council, as well as the international relations. And the most burning issues affecting the humanity are being discussed by parliamentaries both at bilateral and multilateral level. In this regard, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, this event, and the specialized meetings should deepen international cooperation that favor the prosperity of Ukraine and Middle East. And it is urgent to silence the arms and give place to democracy in order to save lives of post-conflict. In the concrete case of the Israel-Palestine conflict, widely the hospitals can be saved and refugee camps, residence areas can be saved, and to the population, water, food, and medical assistance. Even that this immediate goal is achieved to alleviate the suffering and pain of the Israeli and Palestinian people, there will be need to seek for Palestinians without land, without homeland, without possibility of returning to the land that belongs to them. As the international community has recognized through a number of UN Security Council resolutions, the Palestinian people has the inalienable right of living in the state of Palestine side by side with the state of Israel, respecting both the principle of good coexistence, good neighborliness, and cooperation. It's only the effective establishment of the Palestinian state will put end to this cycle of hatred and violence that the world witnessed in pervert for decades, that has shed a lot of blood of Palestinian and Israeli citizens. It's not the cannons that will bring peace in the Middle East, but it's diplomacy and, above all, the willingness and the willingness of the world, mainly of the permanent members of the UN Security Council, in complying with their own resolution aimed at establishing the state of Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, the great level of representation of parliamentarians throughout the world that I have the privilege to salute to date, apart from the joy of being a host country, shows the firm commitment and engagement of member states for consulting in matters relating to common values such as human rights and sustainable and inclusive development. On behalf of the Angolan people, I reiterate satisfactorily our thanks for having chosen the Republic of Angola to host the 147th Assembly of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, a challenge that was accepted, hoping that the results of this forum will contribute in a concrete and objective manner in solving many of the problems afflicting the world. I wish to all MPs, senators, parliamentarians, congressmen and delegates a very fruitful working journey, as well as a good stay in the city of Luanda, whose experience I hope shall remain in your memories. To all of you,
heard the words of comes to an end shortly. We will have the goal. Other participants will be taken to the reserved areas for
Excellency, members of the board of this presidium, excellency guests,
distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing to add. Let me just thanks to all delegations that came to Angola to discuss peace and aspiration of Angola, so that all together we can fight for a better world for our children and for all humanity. I thank you very much.